I perfected this 2D Metroidvania in just a little over 6 hours, so let's talk about it. This is Shattered Divinities, an indie 2D pixel art Metroidvania developed by Star Soul Game based out of China. In Shattered Divinities, you play as Seraphina, a criminal warrior woman who was just awoken in a very strange land. The land has fallen to corrupt monsters due to the fallen deities that have left their power behind. Your job is to find the power from the fallen deities and use that power to heal the land and remove the power for good. So firstly, let's talk about level design. Now, as we've talked about in previous videos, level design is not really my forte when it comes to these types of games, Souls-likes and Metroidvanias included. If you ask me, the level design in this game is pretty good. The zones connect to each other in a few different spots. The progression is intuitive and not super linear, and I say this as a big fan of linear. And there are optional spots in each zone that even hide some optional bosses. I got very far in the game before I learned that there were some bosses that I had missed earlier. You're able to really comfortably explore everything too, as you're able to fast travel from your resting points from the very beginning of the game, which is a big quality of life feature for me. I know there are some people that don't like having fast travel from the very jump of the game, but I'm not one of those people. Now let's talk about the combat. The combat in this game is very simple, but plenty enjoyable. But you know what else has enjoyable combat? A 3D Souls-like called Thymesia. I just made a video on it earlier this week. You should go check that out. I'll link that right here. And while you're over there, make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all these reviews. So back to the combat. You've got your normal attack swing that you can pretty much spam until you get hit or you need to dodge. You also have a shield that you can block oncoming attacks, and you can even parry if you time it right. Parrying enemies stuns them, and it can even reflect projectiles back to them. Now, if you know me thus far, you know I'm a big fan of parrying, so that's pretty much all I did. Now the combat doesn't really expand much further past that. You can get things here and there that upgrade you a little bit, like a fireball that you can get later in the game, but your normal sword swing and your blocking / parrying is going to be your bread and butter of the game. In Shattered Divinities, you get something called ability shards. If you've played Hollow Knight, these are your charm equivalent for this game. If you haven't played Hollow Knight, well, these are things that can make you attack faster, make your block consume less stamina, increase your parry windows, something like that. Another system is the divine marks. Now, I really like these in the game. These are added bonuses on top of your normal movement upgrade abilities that you get in most Metroidvanias. For instance, you have a dodge at the beginning of the game, but like other Metroidvanias, if you commit to an attack but need to dodge in the middle of the attack, you're out of luck. You're going to get hit. A divine mark that you can use in Shattered Divinities is you can force that interrupt to your attack animation, allowing you to dodge whenever you need to. I usually like being able to dodge whenever I need to and that not be a thing, but I find it very interesting that they added it to a system in this game, which I think works out beautifully. Lastly, you get divine possessions. These are major upgrades that can help you overcome hard platforming challenges or even tough bosses. An example of one of these is you can actually get a third jump in this game on top of your double jump. The boss fights in Shattered Divinities range from meh to pretty great. Some of the bosses are complete pushovers, and some of them will really make you sweat. I'm looking at you, Timekeeper. One thing Shattered Divinities does really well is that the final boss in this game actually feels like a final boss. Too many times do I play a game and I get to the very end and I fight a boss and I think, that's it? That's what this game was building up for? Not in Shattered Divinities. The final boss in this game will really test your patience. In this game, there's also a boss rush section where you can run a couple different gauntlets of each of the bosses. Another similarity to Hollow Knight is Shattered Divinities divides the boss rushes up to separate ones, culminating in one gauntlet that is every boss start to finish. They are nowhere near as difficult as the Hollow Knight Pantheons, but they're still a fun time. Speaking of difficulty, in Shattered Divinities, you are able to customize your difficulty to your liking. The game has a couple different preset difficulty options that you can pick from. For instance, I played on Inferno the entire time, which I think is one less than the hardest. But you can also change individual settings of the game to customize the difficulty to your liking. I found myself really enjoying the music of this game. The soundtrack was just very solid the entire way through. Much like real life, I get lost a lot in Metroidvania games, which is, I understand, kind of the point. So I end up listening to the same soundtrack 100 times before I'm able to find where I'm supposed to go. The soundtrack of this game does a really good job of not annoying me. I don't get sick of it, even if I have to spend an hour in the same zone. The story in this game is pretty good from what I could follow. There's a plot twist at the end of the game that you can kind of see coming from a certain point, but that doesn't take away from it. I don't have much more to say about the story, but I thought it was enjoyable. Overall, I'm gonna give Shattered Divinities a 9 out of 10. The game is very short, but is well worth your time, especially if you're a fan of the Metroidvania genre. The pixel art is really beautiful. The zones are very well designed and a pleasure to look at. The combat, while simple, doesn't really ever feel boring. There are plenty of secret rooms in the world and many more optional bosses bosses that really make your exploration worth your time. The bosses are very well designed overall, even if some of them are a bit of a pushover. And lastly, the quality of life options in this game really make it a pleasure to play. Thank you, dev team, for respecting my time. That's it for me on this one. If you like what I do, please consider liking and subscribing. And also, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you've played this game or if you're interested in it. Let's have a conversation about it. Also, check me out on TikTok and Twitch, and here on YouTube. I'm going to be streaming these games for these reviews going forward. Right now, we're currently working on Blasphemous 2, so make sure you go check those out. But that's it for me, guys. Stay safe out there. Peace.